Hi, welcome to Tea Time. My name is Ashley Adamson. This is unedited and unscripted. And today we're going to explore a topic which is your gender authenticity, or what I would say, dealing with imposter syndrome when you're trans. This is probably the worst and hardest thing to deal with as a trans person, because it can also not leave you for quite some time. And sometimes it feels like you're just stuck there forever. Have you ever felt like, will it ever end? Will I always be in this situation where I don't feel authentically who I am, even though you are trying to do that? It's this weird block where you know where you are, you know where you want to be, but there's this thing in the middle and it feels like you just can't get there, right? Have you ever felt that? It's a tough place to be in. It's something that I wanted to share with you today, as yesterday we were talking about, am I woman enough or am I man enough as you transition? And so I had a little bit more thoughts on that and I wanted to share with you. So if you're new to your transition, the first thing I would say is, yeah, it's okay that it feels like you're faking it. That's totally fine. You know the saying of faking it till you make it? This is totally one of those examples where you fake it until you make it. And what I mean by that is you try things, you say, oh, well, maybe this expression will feel good to me, or maybe I'll just try changing my voice just a little bit and I'll speak like this instead and see how that feels. And maybe I'll wear this dress and maybe it'll make me feel right. And when you try these things out, something magic happens, which is where you try it out in the world and then you get feedback, not from just the world around you, which is important, but also the feedback from inside you, which is the most important. You will suddenly go, aha, this is me, or this just didn't feel right. My first name that I tried was Taylor when I transitioned. And I thought it was fine because it was sort of gender neutral, it worked back and forth. But as I continued to use it, I got feedback from my friends and also just in my own experience where it just didn't settle right. It didn't fit with who I was and it was kind of holding me back. And so that was the first lesson that I learned in finding authenticity for myself, was finding a name by trying out some other things. And eventually I ended up at Ashley. And with dressing and mannerisms and working and expression, this didn't come until maybe 8 or 9 months after learning my voice and speaking. You just kind of do these things where you try something out and how you want to express, oh, hi, babe. And you try imitating things you see on TV. And then things just start to kind of settle in. The best way that I've learned to move from faking it to making it is when I've found personality traits or expressions from my girlfriends that I like a lot, and I say, you know what, I'm going to steal that and I'm going to try that. And you do, and you give it a shot, and it kind of settles in, or it doesn't, and then you move on. So then once you've faked it enough, your brain gets used to doing it, so then it no longer feels unnatural. It starts to become routine, so it starts to look natural, and you've gotten enough feedback from it to integrate it into your personality and start feeling like it's the real you. So keep faking it till you make it. The second thing I want to say on faking it till you make it, which is the second thing, is you got to drop the fake it till you make it story. I know I just said there's this whole story of fake it till you make it. But once you get to stage 2, you got to drop the faking it till I made it story, because then you'll say, oh, well, I faked it to get here, and so I'm a fake. No. And this is the same story that can happen in your career. This is the same story that can happen in your personal life. You just got to get that story out of your head. You've actually never been faking it. You can retell the story and say, I've just been discovering it. I've just been unveiling it. I've just been calling in my knowing and finding out what's truly me, and re-articulating that story in your mind so that you don't have the belief that you are faking it at any time. If someone were to misgender you later, or someone were to call you your dead name, it could trigger this sense of, I've just been faking it the whole time and someone has found out my story of that I've been faking it and I am a fake. And that's come up for me before. I don't know if it's come up for you. Do you ever feel like someone has just prodded you in a soft spot and now it all feels like the world that you created is just crumbling down and that it was all fake, and you get into this kind of teary crying state because someone just knocked over all your Legos. Did you ever play with Legos? Like, yeah, I people could knock over my Legos because mine were stable, but you know what I mean. Someone knocked over your stuff and you have to kind of pick it back up and pull yourself together. But to be rock solid is to change the way that you perceive what you've put together. Yes, you've assembled your outfits. You've learned to change your voice and change your mannerisms and change your expression. But once you're at this stage, you can still feel fragile. Someone can still call you out in a way where it's misgendering, or even worse, like hollering at you like you're a man or you're a woman or whatever form that you don't want. And it can feel like it comes apart. And this is where you need to change your story to, I've never faked it. I've always been this person. This is who I am, and I've known it, whether or not consciously or not. But now I've learned enough about myself through this trying out and discovery that this is who I am, and this has always been, and I am not being inauthentic. This is me. There's no imposter here. That's what you get. And that's probably the most solid rock place piece of information that I can give you, is to just be there. And oftentimes you can't get there until you've done enough of faking it to learn what you like and what you know. So I'll make this a short video for today, but those are two of the most major concepts I want to share with you about how to do it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And if you have any tools or techniques you'd like to share with other people, people read the comments, and I'd also love to read your comments and maybe take it for inspiration for tomorrow's episode. I'll see you later, and have a great day. As they say in Berlin, tschüss.